Okay, hands up if you've signed the best player in Football Manager history. Or at least I had signed the best player in Football Manager for about 10 minutes before TNS come in and trump me with a signing that just makes the eyes water. I'm starting to lose hope that we will ever be able to catch this club, however many seasons we stay at Haverfordwest, but things are going pretty well. You'll see that we're up there in second place. We've got a little lead over third place. I've even been looking at the league rules. I'll explain all shortly, but let's show you the form first of all since our last episode, where we were winning 2-1 against Newtown, and then we followed it up with a 1-0 victory after that. We beat Pontypridd in the next game 3-1 before the sticky spell. We lost 3-1 to Connah, and we drew 4-4 with Colwyn Bay, having been 4-1 down in that game. And then we played the New Saints, and thank you to the comments for pointing out that I'm still calling them Total Network Solutions, probably a decade or so since they rebranded to the New Saints. But they did for us anyway. They beat us 3-1 before we recovered. We beat Holywell, we beat Penybont, we beat Carmarthen back-to-back, scoring 9 goals against them either side of Christmas. Not either side of Christmas. We played them on Boxing Day and then in the New Year. But in our most recent game, we were back to losing ways. We lost 2-1 to Barry. Now, I did say that we would be coming back for the Total Network Solutions there. I did it again. Quarter-final tie of the Welsh Cup. But since the league split, they've squeezed in 5 further league games before we even get to that quarter-final tie. So that will have to wait for another day. And I wanted to come back to show you the transfer because honestly, I think this is the most exciting Football Manager signing I have ever made, pound for pound, considering the level that Haverfordwest are at. So we are in the midst of the January window, and I've actually bought a few players in. Josh Duro joins us from Brentford on loan. Incredible pace and good finishing. So I thought at 18 years old, he was worth taking a punt on for half a season, and he's not costing us anything at all. We've bought in another utility player, could be a winger, could be a striker. This is Alberto Balde, who joins us from Northern Ireland. Again, bit of an all-rounder, and has agreed to come in as a squad player, so he isn't expecting an awful lot of game time. We've bought in another midfielder. Patrick Hickey was a player that I tried to sign when we first took over at Haverfordwest. Instead, he opted to move out to Gibraltar on about half the wages that we were offering, but now he's agreed to move over to us, and he's on a contract that's worth less per week than we were offering him 6 months ago. So the joke is on you, young Patrick, and we've bought in a centre-half as well. This is Sean Gerrans, who is a good all-rounder, determined, good in the air, good strength. The pace is just about there. Positioning, marking, teamwork, work rate, all pretty decent for a centre-half. And we've bought him in because our Maltese centre-back, Luke Tabone, has announced that he is leaving the club at the end of the season. He's already predetermined that he's not going to get a work permit. So we have decided to try and replace him early with a kind of like-for-like player. I think if anything, Gerrans is probably the better all-rounder, even though he's perhaps not quite as good in the air. And he's got a 2-year deal, so he'll be with us next season as well, offering us a bit of assurance, a bit of composure, a bit of determination, and a little bit of experience at the back. And that leaves us just one player to show you, and honestly, compared to the level that we're at, I don't think I have ever signed a player that is so far ahead of the rest of the squad. The press are already branding him the Salford Messi, and when I say the press, I mean me. This is Sam Mather, a former Manchester United Academy graduate. He's played 5 games for us already and already has 6 goal involvements, including being on the score sheet 4 times. He is quick, he's agile, he's got good balance. The dribbling for this level is superb. The first touch and especially the technique are wonderful. He can take free kicks. The flair is out of this world. He can even finish a chance. He could play as a striker. He can play on either wing. He can play centrally in the midfield areas as well. Disgracefully, he's only worth potentially £1,000. If a bid came in for anything less than £150,000, I would laugh it out of here. I don't think this young man would look out of place in a League One squad, but he's come in and joined us in the Welsh leagues instead. And for about 10 minutes, he was the greatest player, I think, competing in the Welsh League. But then Total Network Solutions decided that they were just going to go out and trump me. And boy, have they trumped me, considering they've already got a decent striker. This is 11 goals in 11 games, Declan McManus. He already looks absolutely fabulous and is valued potentially at £50,000. And even on the wing, they've got a player who's been a thorn in our side when we've played them, and he's worth potentially £50,000 again, and they're paying him £2,000 a week. They picked up this player from Arsenal, which is just rude, but not as rude as signing Tyrese John Jules on a free transfer. How can we ever compete with this? Danny's young boy, who I think played for us when we were at Europa in another YouTube Let's Play series. The pace is searing. The first touch, the teamwork, the vision, the work rate. It is going to be an absolute mission to ever reel in TNS when they are signing players of that kind of caliber. But we're going to give it our best shot. So here's the league table in full. I've tried to read the league rules and get my head around European qualification. It's quite complex. So Total Network Solutions are going to win the league. That much is clear. They are 13 points ahead of us, and they're going to qualify for the Champions League. Second place will qualify for the Europa Conference League, and nobody can take that away from them. It's third place, where it's a little bit more squiffy. There is a place up for grabs in the Conference League for the winners of the Welsh Cup. Now, normally that is TNS, so it passes back to the league. But third place only qualify as of right for the Conference League if the winners of the Welsh Cup have already qualified for European competition. After that, the additional place in the Conference League is a bit of a lottery. They have a playoff between the teams in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So the club that comes top of that relegation group also qualify for a playoff to determine the final participants in the Europa Conference League. Now, whether that will include the 7th place team, if the winner of the Welsh Cup is not in the top 3, I'm not sure, because it would seem a little bit harsh on the third place side if they don't get included in this European playoff, even though they finished higher than the team in 6th, for example. But hopefully we won't need to rely on mathematics, because we're 5 points clear of Connah's Quay, and we need to try and keep that gap with our 2 games today, the first of which is going to be against the team in 3rd. So since the last episode, we've been playing Udoyan Akpan up front because Taylor Crossdale was still coming back from injury. He's been superb. He's got 11 goals in 12 starts plus 9 substitute appearances. And I am very tempted to give this player another 1-year deal. I think we'd need to bargain him down from £325 a week, because hopefully during the summer transfer window, we will be able to bring in a Tyrese John Jules striker of our own. But he is out injured at the moment, so Taylor Crossdale is coming back into the team. The player that's missing out at the moment is Cian Kinsella. He went off the boil. I think we'd overworked him as a 16-year-old because he started to throw in some fairly tepid performances, not performing quite as well in training, was struggling for fitness every time that we were playing him. So he's taking a bit of a breather. Why the Salford Messi just comes in and delights the fan with his array of tricks and skills. The other player that's throwing in some hit or miss performances, surprisingly, is young Justin Hawkins at the moment. He's up 1 week and he's down the next, and he's struggling for a little bit of consistency. Probably no surprise. One of the coaches saw him out dancing on a Friday night. He's also got archery on Tuesday, needlework on Wednesday, gymnastics on Thursday. How he keeps up with all of these extracurricular activities, I don't know. Probably playing football for us on a Saturday is the last of his considerations. We're still hopeful that he will sign a new deal before the end of the season, and we're hopeful he's going to put in a spellbinding performance today as we take on 3rd place Connah's Quay in the first of today's games. Important game today as we get underway. By the way, Before we get into the game proper, a huge thank you for your continued support of this series. It continues to get very pleasing viewing figures, and I realise I'm asking a bit more of the viewers as we go a goal down early. Troy Greening. I am asking a little bit more of the viewers this series by showing 2 games per episode rather than 1. So they are slightly longer, I recognise that. And all of the people that continue to tune in each episode, patiently watch the adverts, leave those comments and likes, hugely appreciated. So thank you to that. And also an additional huge thank you to everybody that is supporting me on Patreon. I know I took a bit of a break as we go 2-0 down. Brendan Glackin. Bit of a disaster this game. When I took a bit of a break from YouTube, I instructed the patrons to cancel their support. Many did, but some decided to keep backing me financially, even though I wasn't producing any Let's Play episodes. But some people have even returned since we started making this series, and their support is hugely appreciated. To reward them, they get priority early access to all of the episodes of the quest. We'll pop the link down below in the video comments in case anybody wants to support as well. But we have got work to do to try and get ourselves back into this game because it has been a disastrous start. They only had 2 shots and both of them went in as Justin Hawkins raids down the right. O'Reilly now tries to hit the byline, and there is the Salford Messi right on cue, trying to drag us back into the game. Tell me, have you ever seen a player, but not even the top side in the nation, but one of the also-rans, as good as the Salford Messi? And he uses every one of those first touch attributes to swivel on a bank vault and slot it into the corner of the net. And now we need to try and dig out an equaliser, although this looks like another highlight for Connah's Quay. They've got the ball on the halfway line. They've got plenty of space in the wide areas as well. And maybe we need to just have a little think about our tactic because we are 3-1 down. This would be back-to-back defeats. I have tweaked things recently, trying to find a winning formula, and I thought I'd done it. We had 4 good wins in a row, and we were scoring lots of goals, but we were keeping no clean sheets. And I'm starting to think that the defence is definitely the area of the pitch that needs rebuilding during the summer. I've had to take Jazz Richards out of the lineup because he was making mistakes left, right and centre, God bless him. Father Time was well and truly catching up with him. It means I've had to move our DM out to right back. Here he is now, Bevan. And it means that Hickey has gone in to play in front of the back 4. As Taylor Crossdale gets on a deflected cross from Hawkins. Hawkins is really growing on me, I have to admit. But until he signs that new contract, I feel like love is only a feeling, really. And we can't get too attached to him because I think he's going to leave at the end of the season. Because Taylor Crossdale has been quite injury prone. And like today, he's a little hit and miss. And I know that Mather can go and play as a striker. Do you know what? Given Crossdale's performance in that first half, that might be what I go with for the second half. I've had a change of heart. We're going to keep the Salford Messi over on the left, and we're going to bring on our on-loan striker, Josh Duro, for the second half. He's made 2 sub-appearances already and not scored. He's going to get a full half now to see whether he can use that blistering pace to try and drag us back into this game. The match stats indicate that it's a bit more even than 3-1 suggests, as Duro goes rutting around. Here is Messi. He jinks, he weaves, he bobs, he works their goalkeeper. Of course he does. Marsh Hughes has now got licence to roam forward, but he's deep in his own midfield here. As we get the ball to Hickey, he's barged off the ball for someone of his physical stature. And there is the Salford Messi again. He just wriggles his way in from that left flank. He's grabbed the ball. He's back up to the halfway line. He's yelling, "Come on, boys, we're still in this." We're not. I've got news for him, but I admire his pluck. What a first touch. What a finish. We might even be calling Messi the Argentinian Mather at this rate, rather than calling Mather the Salford Messi, because he is an absolute hero. What's that? 6 goals he's scored now in 6 games from the wing. As Hickey has a little go to try and drag us level. We'll pause. We'll have a look at whether we can make some subs. Look at those XGs. We should be back in this game. We've got 10 minutes left in this game, and we've not had a highlight since I went in and started just trying to tweak the tactic. And the midfield, I feel, have really let us down today. 6.3, 6.5s. I've already dragged Akpan off. He was on a 6.5. Centrally, I feel like it's where we lost the game. And given that they played a diamond 4 in midfield, maybe I should have tweaked the tactic to go a little bit more central myself. We've outperformed them on the XG and the shots on target. We've only had 33% of the ball. I think that's what did for us. So that defeat really does drag Connah's Quay back into that chase for that second spot. We've got to be careful. We're certainly looking over our shoulders. There's perhaps one other thing that you could give me your advice on down in the comments, and that is to do with part-time training. I've made a few training schedules that I've plugged in. I've called them all Quest 1, Quest 2, Quest 3, and I've tried to prioritise some of our attacking play and our goal-scoring play in these schedules, and I've tried to make sure that they're focused on just trying to keep the morale of the team up, that there's lots of team cohesion training in there, but certainly training part-time is a little bit of a challenge. So let me know in the comments for this episode, what are the training programs, or the training activities, I should say, that you think are most important when you are managing a part-time club? What are those 1 or 2 sessions that you get in there every single week that you get your team to practice to try and get results? Because to be honest, we're not in the process of developing players at Haverfordwest. It's all about trying to get results on the pitch. So let me know down in the comments which training sessions have worked best for you in making sure that your team win games. I have tweaked things a little for this second game to try and get us back to winning ways, and I've also taken Taylor Crossdale out of the side and brought Quay and Kinsella back, and he's going to play as a striker so that we can play Mather on the left and Hawkins on the right. And today we're going to be taking on Penybont, and because we've had this league split now, every single game between now and the end of the season is going to be a tricky one, and we are just in a little spell where we are not performing at our best. So we're going to try and end that forerunner form and tell the players that that is our goal for this afternoon. So that's back-to-back defeats. Hopefully bringing Kinsella back into the side might find us a striker that has that goal touch, because since Akpan got injured, we've really struggled to find a number 9 that can hit the back of the net for us. We're also desperately searching, I think, for another central midfielder. We could do with a real defensive rock in that midfield, a tough tackling player who can win the ball back for us. I hoped Hickey might be that, but he's not made a good start to life in Wales at all, I am afraid, which, considering his attributes, is a bit of a surprise to me. We might have given away a penalty right at the start of the game, and we have indeed, and we're relying on Richard O'Brien to save this one for us. He has done. I thought it could be an absolute horror show, but O'Brien saves it. And it's on to the next zone for him. And we're still in contention in this game. That was a right let-off. Liam O'Brien is now playing a 7.7. Oh, Mother will be pleased with that one. But attacking-wise, not done much in this game, have we? Eve kicks it long. We've won the ball with Marsh Hughes. And here he is, the little Messi. He jinks. He comes back. Then takes on a man, beats a man, gets the ball to Kinsella, and he's back in again. And we're going to say that's all the Salford Messi, isn't it? It's Marsh Hughes that actually stabs the ball home, but it was Mather just jinking and probing over on the left. That means that we've managed to get the goal. Kinsella's involved as well. He plays it back to Mather. There must be terror in the heart of the defence every time the Salford Messi gets the ball. And we've got a goal against Penybont, and he does get the assist. And now we've had 6 shots, 2 on target, and we're doing quite well. We'll praise the players and see whether we can grab a second before half-time. Don't think we can. We're going to have to content ourselves with being 1-0 up at the interval. As you'll see, we're still struggling to get a good performance from one of our strikers, and Justin Hawkins is back down in the 6s again so far for this game. But we've got a chance to come forward now. Hickey just Well, dribbles into a defender. He really has been a disappointment since we signed him. And now Murphy brings the ball forward for Penybont. It's a deep cross in. And Osorio, who sounds like some kind of Shakespearean villain, curls one over the bar. O'Reilly now to Tabone. We are going to miss him from set plays. He really does come forward and cause a threat. He's got a little near post header. Great ball in by O'Reilly again. And that gives us that little bit of breathing space and maybe those little tactical tweaks, just going a little bit more conservative than what we had been, are enough to get us a better performance today. Kinsella is on a 6.6. I think we might have to turn to the bench again for one of our strikers to come on as Akpan clears the ball away. And Dr. Sam Beckett leaps into the box and curls home another one for them. Oh boy, this is now 2-1. Nobody gets these references, by the way. I'm fully aware of that. That's absolutely fine. We are now 2-1 in the lead, and we are going to make that change up front, I think. Akpan just lets it smash him in the midriff. And Bevan dives in and gives away a second penalty of the game. And we're banking on Richard O'Brien once more. He's in the Aztec zone. And it's not the right place to be. He's been beaten. He's been locked in this time. And now it's tied up at 2-2. I said when we went 2-0 up, we had a bit of breathing space. How wrong I was. We're now being suffocated by Penybont. It's going to be them that are going to fancy getting a winner in this game. Akpan playing poorly, but we don't really have central midfielders on the bench. The only thing we could do would be bring Mather into central midfield. I'm not sure we want the Salford Messi that far back as he sends in a delicious corner. His second assist of the game, Tabone's second near post header of the game. We're back in the lead once more. I mean, he has just picked where he wants to put that. And Tabone has just latched onto it and thumped the header past. And we're now going to throw on the merest bit of time wasting. But with 6 minutes of injury time now played, it's us that get a very narrow victory, but one that is very welcome given the run of form that we've had. With Connah's Quay yet to play that game, that just gives us that bit of breathing space again in second place in the table. What I think we might do now is get towards the end of the season rather than come back for that TNS game in the Cup, which we're probably going to lose. We're going to come back for the TNS game on the final day of the season to see if we can qualify for Europe, and you never know, if we perform miracles against TNS in the quarterfinals and win a semi-final, there could be a second National Cup final in the first 2 seasons of the Quest to look forward to as well, although probably a long shot.